fighter jets that defined aerial combat became the sharpest weapons of the age. These are the top 7 deadliest fighter jets of World War II, ranked by their speed, kills, and the legendary missions they completed. Level 1. The Messerschmitt Bf 109, Germany. The Messerschmitt Bf 109 was Germany's most produced and most feared fighter. Introduced before the war even began, it became the backbone of the Luftwaffe and flew in nearly every major campaign Germany fought. Its sleek, narrow frame and Daimler-Benz engine made it deadly at both high and low altitudes. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, the Bf 109 was the hammer of the Luftwaffe. On August 18th, known as the hardest day, Luftwaffe ace Adolf Galland led his squadron of Bf 19s across the English Channel. British radar had picked up their approach, and soon Spitfires and Hurricanes scrambled to intercept. In that single mission, Galland shot down 3 Spitfires, outmaneuvering them using the 109's climb rate and powerful MG-151 cannon. Though Germany eventually failed to break Britain, the Bf 109 carved a fearsome reputation. Later in the war, in the Eastern Front's brutal skies, pilots like Erich Hartmann, the highest-scoring ace in history with 352 confirmed kills, flew the Bf 109 almost exclusively. Hartmann's ambush tactics and the aircraft's deadly precision turned it into the ultimate predator. It was fast, unforgiving, and lethal, a weapon of precision in the hands of masters. Level 2. The Mitsubishi A6M0, Japan, lightweight, agile, and with unmatched range. The Mitsubishi A6M0 was Japan's most dangerous fighter in the early war years. It dominated the skies of the Pacific with incredible maneuverability and climb rate. The Zero was designed for one purpose: to win dogfights before the enemy could react. On December 7th, 1941, during the attack on Pearl Harbor, Zeros escorted bombers and strafed airfields across Oahu. They destroyed dozens of parked American planes and gunned down any that tried to take off. In one mission, Lieutenant Commander Shigeru Itaya led a squadron of Zeros over Ford Island, shooting down US P-36 Hawks and P-40 Warhawks within minutes. The Americans were caught completely off guard. Later, during the Battle of the Coral Sea and Midway, the Zero continued to terrorize Allied pilots. Saburo Sakai, Japan's legendary ace, once engaged a group of U.S. Navy planes over Guadalcanal and shot down 4 aircraft in one sortie. Despite being wounded by return fire, his skill, combined with the Zero's unmatched agility, made the Japanese Sky Force almost untouchable during 1941 and 1942. But as the war dragged on, the Zero's lack of armor and self-sealing fuel tanks became its downfall. When newer American aircraft arrived, it couldn't keep up. Still, in its prime, the A6M0 was the ghost that haunted the Pacific skies. Level 3. The Supermarine Spitfire, United Kingdom. The Supermarine Spitfire was Britain's national symbol of defiance. Its graceful elliptical wings, powered by a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, made it fast, nimble, and deadly at high altitudes. It wasn't just a plane, it was the reason Britain stood tall when invasion seemed inevitable. In the Battle of Britain, Spitfires became legends. On September 15, 1940, as waves of German bombers and Bf 109 escorts crossed the Channel, RAF pilots scrambled to meet them. Squadron leader Douglas Bader and his men climbed into their Spitfires and dove straight into the attack. Within minutes, the air was full of smoke and fire. By day's end, over 60 German aircraft were destroyed, with Spitfires responsible for the bulk of the kills. That mission became known as Battle of Britain Day, and it turned the tide of the war in the air. The Spitfire's versatility meant it evolved constantly, from intercepting V-1 flying bombs to escorting bombers deep into Europe by 1944. Pilots loved it for its responsiveness. Enemies feared it for its precision. When Spitfires soared, Britain survived. Level 4. The Focke-Wulf FW-190, Germany. The Focke-Wulf FW-190 was Germany's answer to the Spitfire, faster, tougher, and deadlier. Introduced in 1941, it shocked the Allies with its power. British pilots were stunned when the FW-190 appeared over France and tore through their formations with ease. In June 1942, the FW-190 made history in Operation Kerberos when Luftwaffe fighters covered the escape of German battleships Scharnhorst, Gneisenau, and Prince Eugen through the English Channel. RAF Spitfires scrambled, but the new FW-190s tore into them. German pilot Josef Priller, flying an FW-190, claimed multiple kills that day, helping secure the fleet's escape. Later, during the defense of the Reich, the FW-190 became the primary interceptor against American bombers. Its radial engine could take damage and keep running, and its firepower, 420mm cannons and 2 machine guns, could tear a B-17 apart. In the hands of aces like Walter Nowotny, who scored over 250 kills, the FW-190 became a nightmare for Allied air crews. Level 5. The Lockheed P-38. Lightning, United States, twin engines, twin tails, and double the danger, the P-38. Lightning was one of the most advanced fighters of the war. Designed for long-range missions, it could climb high, dive fast, and pack a punch with its central nose-mounted armament. The P-38's most famous mission was Operation Vengeance in April 1943. American codebreakers learned that Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the mastermind of Pearl Harbor, was flying over Bougainville in the Solomon Islands. 16 P-38s from the 339th Fighter Squadron were assigned to intercept. After a long, low flight across the Pacific, they caught Yamamoto's transport plane. Major Thomas Lanphier Jr. and his wingmen shot it down, killing Japan's top admiral. It was one of the most precise and daring intercept missions in aviation history. In Europe, P-38s also served as long-range escorts for bombers attacking Germany. Pilots like Richard Bong, America's top ace with 40 confirmed kills, made their names flying the Lightning. It was fast, elegant, and versatile, a symbol of American engineering mastery. Level 6, the Focke-Wulf Tu-152, Germany. Few planes represented the desperation and brilliance of late-war Germany like the Focke-Wulf Tu-152. It was an evolution of the FW-190, redesigned to fight at extreme altitudes where Allied bombers roamed. With a top speed of 472 miles per hour and powerful cannon armament, it could outclimb and outrun nearly anything. In early 1945, Luftwaffe's ace Josef Keil flew one of the few operational Tu-152s and intercepted a group of P-51 Mustangs over Germany. Despite being outnumbered, Keil managed to shoot down one Mustang and damage another before escaping at over 40,000 feet, a height the American fighters struggled to reach. Though built too late to change the war, the Tu-152 proved that German engineers still held the edge in aerodynamics and innovation. It was the ultimate evolution of piston engine combat, and if introduced earlier, it might have changed the air war's outcome. Level 7. The North American P-51 Mustang, United States. At the top of the list stands the P-51 Mustang, the fighter that changed the war. When America needed a plane to escort bombers deep into enemy territory, the Mustang became the answer. fast, long-ranged, and deadly. Its Rolls-Royce Merlin engine gave it unmatched high-altitude performance, and its 6.50 caliber machine guns shredded enemy aircraft. The Mustang's defining moment came during the long-range escort missions over Germany in 1944. On March 6th, when bombers headed for Berlin, hundreds of B-17 faced swarms of German fighters. Normally, bomber losses were devastating until the Mustangs arrived. Led by Colonel Donald Blakesley of the 4th Fighter Group, the P-51s dived into combat. They shot down over 60 German aircraft that day and ensured the bombers reached their targets. It was the first successful daylight raid on Berlin, and it broke the Luftwaffe's back. Another famous Mustang pilot, Captain Clarence "Bud" Anderson, flew over 100 missions without a single scratch, earning triple ace status. The Mustang could fight, escort, dive, and climb, a machine of perfect balance. By 1945, the P-51 ruled the skies. It escorted bombers into the heart of Germany, shot down jets like the Me-262, and helped the Allies gain absolute air superiority. Even General Dwight D. Eisenhower later said, "The Mustang was the plane that won the war." From the Bf-109 that dominated early skies to the P-51 Mustang that ended the war in the air, each fighter told a story of courage, innovation, and destruction. These machines weren't just tools, they were the wings of nations, carrying the hopes and fears of every pilot who ever climbed into their cockpit. When engines roared and the sky turned silver with sunlight, these 7 warbirds decided the fate of empires.